Today's video card's a little bit of a whimsical card for me. I did something similar to this in a previous series with butterflies, but I think it works really well with the Santa. And just to show you the dies we'll be using, we have the Ho 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 and the Santa's Sleigh. I'm also going to be using the Caribbean background from the Caribbean collection too as well. To start out, I'm going to start with the background. Now I'm going to be using a piece of white gloss card, and this technique's important to use gloss, okay? So I've got that cut to size. I'm also going to be using some of the Cosmic Shimmer matte paint as well as the Pearlescent mica powder, okay? So I'm just going to use a little bit of this onto my craft mat. There we go. And let me just take out a little bit of this mica powder. I'll use the end of a palette knife here. Just put a little bit there. And I've taken a piece of just wax paper. You can use any kind of plastic wrap or whatnot. You just want something you can pick up some of the paint in kind of an irregular fashion. So I'm just going to dab it around, pick up a little bit of that mica, and we're going to dab it over that gloss card. This gives you a really, really nice shimmery effect, and it's called mother of pearl technique. Now once this dries, you'll see the shimmer come through even more. And I know it might be a little bit difficult to pick up on camera because it's white on white, but when your recipient gets this, they will love the way that this comes out. So it's up to you how much you use and how thick you put that paint on. You could have a little bit of texture to it, have the paint be just a little bit thicker in areas. I'm going to try and thin it out so we can get it to dry as quickly as possible. Pick up a little bit more of that mica, go all the way around the edge there. There we go. I like the way that looks. Now I'm going to let this sit aside to dry because we'll use this one in a little bit. And let me just tidy up with a grime boss, and we'll just take all this extra bit off. Okay. Next, I'm going to go to the background. Now I've gone ahead and I've cut the Caribbean background and I have embossed it. So you have that nice pretty ridge going around the outside of that. And this die does not have a separate cutting edge to cut that out, but that's the part that I'd like to take away. So if you just nip your scissors into the edge here, you can just slowly go around it using that embossed edge as your guideline. Go slow when you have this. You're not, there's no need to go quickly at all, but I'm just going to try and cut this out for you as quickly as I can. There we go. Now, what you need to do is, once you have that, take a sanding block and just go in and take away any of these rough edges. Just like you're sanding your fingernails. A nail file will work, or a piece of loose sandpaper, and it will smooth that right out so you can't actually tell that there's not been a cut edge for that. Okay, so I've already got one that I've done ahead of time, and I've added a bit of mounting foam. So I need to bring this back, and we'll use this as our background for that. I'm going to peel the backing off, and that may still be just a tiny bit damp. So I'm going to add a little bit extra of glue. And let me undo my glue here, get it flowing nicely. There we go. Okay, now this is when I add in my Santa. Now what I've done is I've cut a little strip. It's about 3/4 of an inch long, wide by about 4 inches long, and I've glued a couple of the Santas on there just to give it a little bit of stability. I've done 2 and back just with some spray glue between them to back them so it's a little bit stronger. So I'm going to pop this into place and put this in my mounting foam like that. So let's see if we can get that nice and flat on there. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and put it onto my backing card. And I'll just use a bit extra glue for that. That looks good. Now, when I did the original card, I did the ho 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 in red, which I've gone ahead and done, but I decided I thought it needed a little bit something extra when I finished it. So I went ahead and did the red ones, but put in a little tiny black shadow by cutting it again in black and mounting it behind just slightly offset. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one. You can tell me which one you like better. Sometimes I think it's just a difference between something very fine like that that makes all the difference in your card. Put a little bit of glue around the back on this. We'll seat it right in the center of that opening. There we go. And voila, we are finished. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll show you both cards and you can see them together. And you tell me which one you like best. Hope you've enjoyed today's video and you'll use these techniques in your cards too. Bye.